Hi, welcome back to the vlog. Here we are again talking about the influences for my life and the lead up to the release of book 3 of Breaking the Tranquillity of Solitude. They all have a bearing somewhere along the lines on something that's happened in my life and how it's then affected characterizations that I've put in the book. Mentions of them usually are in there somewhere, but that'll be down to you to find them. But yeah, we're down to let me just have a look. Yes, 6 and 5, two distinctly different influences. 6 on my list, and again I'll reiterate that they're not in order of influence or importance, just in order probably more chronologically. So yes, 6 on my list is the inimitable and absolutely legendary Jack Nicklaus. The greatest golfer of all time, bar none, absolutely no question about it, and anybody who wants to argue the point, you're wrong. Jack Nicklaus is and always was the greatest golfer ever. And his influence on me because I was a golfer, and his influence on me because I was an aspiring golfer, and then his further influence on me when I actually was lucky enough at the 1995 British Open to get the chance to not only meet Jack Nicklaus, but to walk up the street and chat to him freely on my own. And finally, before I left his company, he offered his hand out to shake my hand. And he was such a gentleman. I can't particularly tell you what I said on that day because I was so nervous and so, taken with the hero worship, I suppose you would call it. I mean, he was just a god of golf. So yeah, I was very lucky that year Arnold Palmer, if anybody's old enough to remember 1995, was retiring from professional golf, and it was his last British Open. So he stood famously on the Swilcan Bridge and waved goodbye to his sort of career of however many 60 odd years. And Jack Nicklaus, who was the greatest golfer of all time, slipped away quietly while the press were mobbing Arnold Palmer. And he wandered up the street, and I'm there staring at Arnold Palmer thinking, wow. And then I stared over and thought, wow, there's Jack Nicklaus walking up the street on his own. I can't miss this opportunity. So I literally chased after him up the street, caught up with him, broached a conversation with him, which he was very gracious to hold with me for probably a good 5 or 10 minutes while he waited for his courtesy car at the top of the street, and we were literally the only people in the street. He signed my book on his page across his own picture and wished me well, and I'm sure it wasn't as a great an experience for him as it was for me, but what an influence and what a fantastic gentleman, so gracious. So that's influence number 6. Now, influence number 5 is of a completely different nature, and I didn't meet these at all, but influence number 5 on my list is Laurel and Hardy. I've always been a bit of a joker, and Laurel and Hardy are undoubtedly the two greatest slapstick exponents, and two of the greatest comedians and double acts, or whatever you want to call them, ever. And most people will tend to agree that they are the reason or the influence on every other comedian that's ever been since before the proper comedy ever occurred. Everything was black and white films and slapstick, and Laurel and Hardy are just absolute geniuses. So those are the influences from this week, and what can I say? I'm a weird guy. So download Breaking the Tranquillity of Solitude Part 1 for free, read it, then buy Part 2, and then you'll be ready for Part 3, which comes out on the 7th of August. I look forward to you doing all that and giving me some feedback. Thanks very much for indulging me, and I'll speak to you next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.